Good evening and welcome to the 39th Annual Christmas Prelude, celebrated in Kennebunkport for the past 39 years, where the townsfolk have come together with people from all over the country and world to enjoy the festivities. My name's Paul Humphrey. I'm the president of the Kennebunkport Business Association. And as you might imagine, with the year that we've had this year, Christmas Prelude's looking very different. But we believe we've done a fantastic job in capturing all of the key events, the ones you know and love to come and attend, but we've captured them in a different way where you'll actually be able to watch the premieres of each of the events on Zoom, on Facebook Live and on the local TV channels, enabling you to be part of the celebrations from your own home. As with any other year, the town has been decorated with by our volunteers, and it looks incredible, festive and full of fun and light. We look forward to you spending time with us over the next 8 or 9 days, and please take a look at the Christmas Prelude website where you'll see all the different activities, the virtual schedule and live schedules alike. Thank you very much and Merry Christmas.
Christmas Prelude was a glimmer of an idea in the summer of 1982 when Kennebunkport merchants began discussing creating a holiday event to give back to the community. Over time, Prelude has changed to include 2 full weekends and nearly 2 full weeks, dozens of events that draws thousands of people from around the world. More importantly, it has helped to raise thousands of dollars for local nonprofits and supported its member businesses while staying true to its local roots.
When we came to Kennebunkport in 1978, they literally started boarding up after Labor Day. Seriously, the shops and so forth.
Wow.
The only other person open after Labor Day at noon in 1978, I think, is when I started, was myself and a man called John the Carver, who carved all winter long, but he did it from his home.
And I can remember in the year, either the year before or the 2 years before where there was Prelude, my wife Diane and I got together with the Wilsons and we said, we should go carol in the square. So they had a son, we had a daughter, all 6 of us, I guess, went down and stood in the square at the monument. There's no tree or anything like that. Nobody's decorated. The town looks black. And we sang about 4 carols and said, well, that's about that, you know. And that was it. And it really was. There was nothing before Prelude. Hardly anybody had a candle in their window.
Because we wanted to try and extend the season, Laurie Coonahan was familiar with the activities that had been done in Newburyport and also Nantucket. They were already doing what they called Christmas walks. So we came up with the idea, well, why don't we do a Christmas festival? And we talked about keep it simple steps, which would be a tree lighting in Dock Square on the Friday night with Christmas carols by the high school group. And then we knew we had the brothers from the monastery and said, well, maybe we could do caroling on Saturday night in Dock Square with them. And then the third thing we talked about was, well, nobody's doing Santa Claus coming in by lobster boat. So that was a unique feature.
And so I think Neville was part of the ones who said we should do something. And I think it was, to me, it was Henry Pascoe who really got the ball rolling. He had talked to several people about the one that they do in Nantucket and was thinking we should do something like that. So we all got together at his place and started talking about it.
Prelude was started when Henry Pascoe had the idea that it is working. He could see that I was bringing people to town. And then Henry got in touch with me and with David and everyone else that was still in the stores in December. And we sat down and kind of ironed everything out.
At the very first meeting, that people said, oh, Santa should arrive by lobster boat. And whoever lives the longest will be the one who's right about who did it, you know, because you'll be able to say, I did it. That was my idea. But
what were we going to call this? And, you know, I said, well, it's a prelude, it's before Christmas, so we could call it Prelude to Christmas, and that was rather wordy. So we reworked it and said, okay, well, let's say we're going to do Christmas Prelude. And, you know, it was a group talk and group think, and the idea was, yeah, that's a great name, and that's how the name came about.
So, 70 degrees. I guess, do I have to say any more? Prelude started in a 70-degree Saturday afternoon in December, and what better way to launch a holiday festival in December that had never been done before in Maine, but to do so with 70-degree weather.
And then Sunday it snowed. Even though we wanted to extend the season, we thought that we could make this festival more of a local event.
Well, it was mostly for the locals. The idea of it, for a lot of us, especially those of us who are local, were really thinking this should be a nice local ceremony. And so I think the arrival of Santa Claus, was a big thing. And then they did a chili lunch in the community house the first year, and just all these little luncheons that were going around, and then all the little community fairs of those people, getting River Tree Arts involved with it the first couple of years.
Very beginning, our first production was in 1990, and Ellie Dow, the founder of River Tree Arts, and I were enthusiasts about the Cambridge Revels, and there were a group of 3 or 4 other people in town that were as well. But it's the wassail all over the town, that kind of thing. So when we were singing, we'd often have the mugs and, kind of the celebratory.
I wish some of the people that, had been there, like Henry Pascoe and Jack Fenner and Neville Wilson, Bud Long, some of those early pioneers, they've all passed on. It would be wonderful if some of the real early people could see how it had grown.
The business has changed from the first Prelude because it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And the first one was just a huge shock to us all. We had no idea that people went out and spent that much money at Christmas time, and that they were willing to do that. And I don't know why we didn't, because we all do it. But we were just, it's always been by far the busiest weekend of the year for us. Just probably triple whatever our other busy weekends are.
One of the things I remember was first couple of years it got so successful, we said we really need to extend it to the second weekend. And we began using the term post-prelude, and that was a negative. So
Right.
You'll see that in the early brochures and so forth, that's what the second weekend was called. And finally we got it. This is Prelude for 2 weekends, and extended it. And then, things like the Nonantum with Fire and Ice and the fireworks. And, it's just incredible what it's grown to be.
The reason it grew so much is it just went like Topsy, where one thing just led to another, and one idea piled on top of another. So
It had a huge effect on this town, I think a major effect. Of course, Prelude itself was a thank you to everybody, because all those people that come for the first probably 15 or 20 years, the people that came were people that came anyway to Kennebunkport, but not that weekend every single year.
I think that's what is special about Prelude and what keeps it special. The events are curated to be family-oriented. It's the perfect blending of neighbors, reveling, and shopping.
We did. I think we can all give ourselves a pat on the back. It never became commercial.
Yeah.
It did help support us for the winter, but it never outwardly became an event that we were just ringing the cash register for.
Back when Matt Lanigan was a part of the Kennebunkport Business Association, he took me under his wing and taught me all of the know-hows of making that tree look as beautiful as it does. And somewhere along the line, he ducked out of decorating that tree, and I inherited the rest of it. The decorating of the tree is having everybody climb up into the middle of it. We look like monkeys, taking and wrapping all the branches and making it look just so. One year we had a tree that we thought was really great. We got it in Dock Square, and it was literally crooked. And it wasn't anything we could do. We've had to take the tree and actually, tie it with wire to the flagpole to help straighten it out a little one. This one, there was absolutely no forgiveness on it. So, and we didn't have a second tree. The funniest night was when Barbara Bush was with us. It was raining sideways, and we were having every year we have problems with the electrical when there's rain. So we were anticipating that we might have some kinds of issues, and sure enough, the countdown was happening. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing. And you could just hear the crowd just kind of hanging there. And Barbara Bush stood there and looked at me and she said, why do you think it didn't light? And all I could come up with was, maybe the town didn't pay the electric bill. I quickly went underneath the tree and started working on all the breakers. Nothing, absolutely nothing was happening. So Matt took that extension cord, he ran it, he got it into compliments. Again, it's rating sideways. I literally took the one extension cord that was plugged into our electrical source and the extension cord from compliments and did one of these, and poof, the tree lit. Afterwards, I thought, well, that was really silly. You were standing in water and you had 2 electrical cords in your hands. But Barbara Bush thought that was a riot. So
it was started at a meeting in 2005 of the Kennebunkport Business Association. We were trying to think of new events that would be fun. Our original concept, well, we began by talking about the fact that families and groups were making hats to help each other spot each other in the crowds and to just be festive together. They'd stop and sing carols and just do silly things all around town. So we decided to give them a venue to show off these hats. And the original thought was that they would march around Dock Square, around the Christmas tree once or twice, and we were expecting about 25 people. What we got the first year was about 200 people, and it was a good thing we had decided to extend the route so more people could see all of these amazing hats. And the moment for me that is most amazing is when we turn the corner into Dock Square, and there is this roar that goes up of people applauding and screaming and just being so excited to see the fife and drum people, me and Walter and I, my lobster, and then all these amazing hats. The president passed away 2 days before the hat parade, and there was conversation about whether we should do it or not. It was decided that we should, and we decided that Walter would carry a flag. I had a small flag in my hat, but people had mementos all in their hats. As I think a kind of a warm sign of love. We walked, and as we turned that corner where usually the roar goes up, we were met with the Christmas tree in Dock Square and the flag at half-mast. And though it was still a wonderful parade, it was just quieter in honor of the president. It's so important to have the hat parade this year because I think we all need fun, silliness, and joy in our lives, and all can be found in the hat parade, between the amazing things that you will see from the past and what people are doing this year, to what we've done in history, just to feel that feeling of it's okay to just relax and laugh.
For the past 39 years, the KBA, an all-volunteer organization, through its Christmas Prelude, has honored its mission to give back to the community and to share the joy and magic of Christmas. As long as there are people to come together to celebrate, there will always be a Christmas Prelude.